Hello everyone, this is Real Talk with Matthew, and I got a special guest, Granny Betty. She helped raise me when I was a little kid. So if you don't mind us asking, when was you born?
1941.
1941. So she used to tell me stories about riding in a horse and buggy, but she said this wasn't a buggy, it was a
wagon.
A wagon. So what, y'all went to town in the wagon?
Yes, we drove from Townley all the way into Jasper in a mule and wagon to take off bales of cotton every year. And we'd go to the Yellow Front store and we'd buy a pair of shoes once a year is all we would have. And then we'd hook the mule and the wagon up downtown, and then we'd stay around in town for half a day, and then we'd shop, and then we'd get back in the wagon and we'd go all the way back to Townley in the mule and wagon.
So, when did y'all get y'all's first car?
In I guess about 1950.
1950? And what kind of vehicle was that?
There's a little Chevrolet, little bitty, I don't know what you call it, a little Chevrolet.
Oh, Chevrolet?
Yeah.
I don't remember that car, but I do remember the pickup truck. When was the pickup truck? Was that the next vehicle?
Mm-hmm. Daddy bought a little pickup truck.
It wasn't a little one, it was a big one.
Yeah.
Big old green truck.
Yeah, it's a Ford.
I thought it was a Chevrolet.
No, it's a Ford.
The green one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. It might have been a Ford. I know that
Yeah.
I actually rode around that truck because me and Harold, your brother, used to there was still sharecropping going on back during my lifetime. I was a small child, or about 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
When Harold used to take me up there, we'd go up to the old man Roy's property and pick potatoes and corn and all kind of stuff. We'd pick, like, what was it, 2 buckets and we'd get one.
Beans, yeah. Beans and squash.
Yeah.
We all together everything.
Yeah, I miss them days, and then he got rid of it. So that truck, that was like a 60-something model truck?
Yeah, it come from the telephone company.
The telephone company?
Mm-hmm.
That's where y'all bought it from?
Daddy bought it from the telephone company.
Anyway, that truck lasted a long time. They finally sold it. I wish they hadn't. It was a pretty old truck.
Yeah.
But so you know, the motor transportation, everything's changed. You've been able to see a lot of changes and stuff. What did you think about when you seen the rocket ship go into space?
I thought it was awful. I don't think you ought to go up in the sky. That's God's country up there.
So she went from horse and buggy to a vehicle to them shooting in outer space. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
And then what about the telephone? Did y'all have a telephone in the house when you was growing up?
Lord, no. We didn't even have running water or nothing.
Y'all had a well?
We had a well. We had to draw water up with a bucket.
An outhouse?
Outside bathroom. We didn't have nothing when we were growing up. We'd go to the field every morning in a no sled. Daddy called it his sled. He made it, and it was a big old slide. And me and him and Plow would get in that sled, and one mule would pull it about a mile down to the fields where we would work. And me and him stay down there all day working, and Mama would have supper cooked when we come in, and we'd all do our chores in the stables and get everything, milking and everything done. And then we'd all go to the table and eat. So we had a rough life when we were kids growing up, but we had a lot of love in our family.
So your parents with the Great Depression now?
Yeah.
So I guess that's where all the canned vegetables and stuff come from.
Yeah.
Ever since I've been a little kid, we always canned and froze vegetables. We didn't go to the grocery store for nothing hardly.
No.
You went to the grocery store for meats, and at one time I think y'all had some pigs out here.
We made a rolling store back when we were kids growing up. We'd buy flour, meal, and sugar. And other than that, we always bought it, raised everything we eat then and canned it and put it up.
And she's still canning stuff to this day, I think. She sends me stuff all the time. She sends me stuff up down there in South Alabama where I live. So that's where I learned some of this cooking stuff from watching her growing up as a kid. She still does it. She still cooks these Sunday dinners and stuff. We used to come as a family, like everybody come down here and eat on Sunday. And I think a lot of families used to do that, and they've got away from it. I really wish that America could get back to doing that, having like Sunday family dinners and stuff, because it really meant a lot.
Yes, it did. It brought your family together. And now people don't know what it is to sit down as a family and eat. Parents don't take time to do things with their family like they used to.
No, it's like it's a different world. I mean, I was able to see some stuff, but like she's got some different experiences. Why I chose to put her on the show today, because I remember some of the stories she told me about the horses and going in town. And there's still actually a store in Jasper called Downtown Posies, or it's called Posies. No, it's called Downtown, but it's downtown. It's called Posies and Son. And it's still actually in business. How long has that place been in business?
Years and years.
As long as you've been alive,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah,
So I think it's 100 years is what I was told.
yeah.
It's still in business, and it's got, I don't know how much longer it's going to stay, but I think it shut down sort of for a minute. Well, really not, just shut down some of the hours. Now I think another family is running it, from what I was told. It's a cool little store, though. If anybody ever comes through Jasper, y'all should check it out.
His son runs it now.
Oh, his son does?
Yeah,
Okay, well, it's the same family then.
yeah, it's his same family.
So what's your favorite food to cook?
Butter beans and green beans and cornbread, and fried chicken and dressing.
I'm going to show you a little trick with that fried chicken. You ain't never brined no chicken, have you?
No.
You can brine that stuff overnight in like a little sugar and salt water solution, and the next day when you go to fry it, that stuff is so juicy.
Really?
Yes. That's a trick I've learned. This chef Jim used to do it at the Grand Hotel, and then when I was at Jim and Nick's does it too. And then when I was at Perito Beach Resort, we had 55-gallon trash cans. They was white, so the white ones are for like food, and we had little wheels on them, and we would dump 3 or 4 cases of chicken. So that's like each one of them cases is 40 pounds, and we would dump it in a salt sugar solution. And this is something that I started doing though that I never seen other people doing. I started adding fresh rosemary, fresh garlic, and fresh thyme as I cut up some fresh lemons and put in there, and that added more flavor to the salt sugar solution. But I still use that recipe at the hospital. I've just actually wrote it down. I used to just eyeball everything, those places I got, but now there's been a couple places where I've had to handwrite the recipes and we put them in books, and I really have to do it at the hospital now. So that's where some of the culinary stuff come from, was watching my family cook as a child.
I still cook for my sister and all of them, and for my neighbor. Then I cook for 2 of my friends. I used to sit with her mother for 13 years, and I still cook for her and her husband, and they come out and pick it up. I love to cook for people and do for people.
I used to make pies and cakes and
Yeah.
all kind of stuff.
I love baking cakes and cookies and stuff like that.
See, I don't care for none of that. That's more precise type stuff I
Yeah, but you eat it when I cook it.
I've been trying to stay away from most of that stuff here lately,
Yeah.
but I still will eat some stuff I ain't supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the world. The world has gotten crazy. I really wish that we could get back to maybe some of these big tent revivals like that. Do you remember seeing them as a child growing up? They used to have
Bush Harbors, yeah. I went to one about 10 years ago with Paul Gunner, where he used to have them over at his house.
Really?
We went over there lots of times. Yeah. They called them Bush Harbors. They built them out of sticks with limbs and stuff over them.
Would they baptize people there, or was it?
No,
it
it's
was just preaching.
Preaching and singing, yeah.
Okay, no, it's I don't know. It's just I feel like that the world's getting further and further away from God, and it's just really turning like people are not staying married as long, and relationships are hard. Like I've been struggling trying to find the right woman for a good 7 years for sure. Because like I told you, I've been she's been around, so she knows what I used to be like. Maybe not the extent, because I stayed away from people when I was out doing wrong. I just wouldn't come around. I wouldn't call, wouldn't come around. So they never actually seen me how bad it was, but they did hear. So I know she heard about it. But you know, I got sober since then. So it's been about 7 years now. I've been acting right. So understand why I couldn't find a woman back then, because who wants to be with somebody that's like that? Well, there's people that do get married that's like that. So I don't know. It's been a struggle trying to find the right woman for me. You know, praying God's will and all that stuff in it. You know, I've been doing some preaching, been doing some of these cooking videos, and this little show right here. I've got my buddy Gene McWhorter. He goes by Gene Anthony, his musical name. We're supposed to do a conference call tonight, and we're going to try to get a media company maybe running. He's better at these videos than me. I'm a one-man show, so I need some help with any video, audio that anybody can help me with. And he's got some kind of TV show he's been making about a boxer. I think he's got about 3 episodes filmed. So I would really like to eventually get out of my industry into more into this. Or get a church. I mean, you know, God called me to preach years ago, and like Dad and Mom and my aunt and uncle teamed up against me and told me not to do it, Granny. I don't know if I ever told you that, but they teamed up against me and told me that I wouldn't ever make no money to be successful doing that. But God did call me to do it. I was doing videos years ago, and then I got messed up with the wrong woman, and it was drinking heavy, and then I started drinking with her, and that's where I fell back off.
Yep. But thank God you're on the right track now.
Oh yeah. So I know you had a husband and he died. What year was it he died?
In 84.
84. How long was y'all married?
30 something years.
And you never so she never did get remarried.
No.
So was it just that you
I didn't want to. I was happy like I am. I'm doing for people and waiting on people and helping others and just staying at home. I enjoy doing for other people.
Yeah, I've heard that from a couple of different people that's like this, been married, went through some bad marriages. I'm not trying to get your business out there, but I'm talking about other people that went through some bad marriages.
Yeah.
And they say they don't ever want to get married. I got a couple of friends like that, so they don't want to get married again. But
I'm just happy like I am, and I believe in the old times, and I don't believe in all this modern stuff myself. I'm still like back years ago. I like living in the old days myself. That's what I believe in, because families were closer back then, and they loved each other, and they cared for each other, and everybody was living right and doing right back then. You didn't hear stuff like you hear of now, the way people are living and things that people does now.
yeah, the methamphetamines has got super bad. She knows the people. We're not gonna get into them people, but she knows some people that's messing around with that stuff. And my buddy called me today, asked me if I'd call and talk to his brother. I'm not, like I said, I'm not bringing no names up on any of this stuff. It's just situations. I'll try to reach out to him because I know both of them. And that methamphetamine is just a hell of a drug, Granny.
Yep.
I'm glad I never really messed with that much. I'm not going to say I never tried it, but I never did. It just never did take me down like that. These people are out of their mind, running around naked and just causing fights and chaos, and I don't know. It's just a bad world we're living in. Fentanyl's killing people. You got these people overdosing on fentanyl, the Mexican cartel bringing it across the border, and they're sitting these innocent women and children over with it in their stomachs. They can come get it out when they cross the border, and that's another reason why they got to shut that border down. Is because they're bringing in drugs to kill us with.
Yep, that's right. That's all people studies now is drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. They don't believe in God anymore. And this younger generation that's coming up is going to be awful, because that's all they believe in is drugs.
Well, that's what I'm trying to capture with. So the show I do, God in the Center, it's not your normal TV preaching. It's not your normal preacher anyway. So I'm calling myself God in the Center. So it's like me and God talking. But I'm because I do talk to God about everything I do and what I talk about. I asked Him to deliver it through me. So you know, I'm trying to reach out to the brokenhearted. My Uncle Earl, he has a TV show called Seeking the Lost, and that's where I got. So everything I do in life, I've picked up from family habits. So like, you know, if you're a mother or father, then please set a good example for your children, because if you don't, then they're going to end up worse off than you. Because luckily I had good examples growing up, but I still end up in there because the friends I chose. Yeah. I chose the wrong friends. I had a lesson on that. It was with David. If David didn't have the right wife and the right friend, they would have delivered him in the hands of the father. He was married to the King Saul's daughter, and he befriended King Saul's son. And by him having the right people in his life, he was able to live. Them people helped him. You want friends that's going to help you. You want your family to help, you know, to be strong. So, you know, if you're a mother or father, you need to set a good example. I'm not neither, and I don't know if I ever will be. But I plan on setting a good example to whoever's in my path. You know, I didn't for years. I set a bad example. You know, I set a really bad example. But you know, so my Uncle Earl does it. He's got Seeking the Lost Ministry. Y'all ever get a chance, check it out. I think he's got a YouTube channel too, and he does TV. Was it CBS? He does.
I think so.
He does it on CBS. He's been doing that for what, 25 years?
Yeah, a long time.
It's called Seeking the Lost Ministries, and you know, I wished he hadn't have. That was a really good name. That would probably have been a good name for me, because that's what I'm doing. I mean, I got my show's called God in the Center. I'm just hoping to reach people that's like this down in the dumps, that's lost all hope, which, you know, which a lot of people have. There's a lot of people that just don't, and then they want to blame God for the situation they put themselves into.
Yep.
I put myself in the fire for so many years, and there was some stuff that was unjust that happened that I had no control over. But like, you know, the devil's also here too. The devil because God allowed him to touch Job. Remember?
Yeah.
In the book of Job, God allowed a lot of bad stuff to happen to Job, but God didn't do it. Satan was doing it. So I don't know. It's just so. What church are you going to now?
The Covenant Nazarene.
You said
it used to be the First Church of the Nazarene, but now it's the Covenant. And Brother Greg Tinker is our preacher, and he is a wonderful, wonderful person.
Yeah, he used to coach and teach at the high school.
Does.
Does he?
Yeah.
What's he coach up there?
The ball games and stuff.
Okay.
I've heard him on.
Okay. I forget exactly what he did up there. But he's always been the church. I do know that.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be First Baptist. I think he used to deal with like youth ministry or something.
He is a great person, good Christian man too.
I don't know. I've been to all these different churches. I was going to this one church where they was baptizing a lot. They was doing like 20 baptisms a Sunday. Then this big fancy TV preacher came in and started doing the sinner's prayer. So now they took away the baptism. Now they're just trying to get everybody to do that. To me, that's a lazy way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you know, I'm not. I hate that I beat that horse to death, but I feel really passionate about being baptized. You know, I feel like that's what God wants us to do. And but I know she does the gospel music and stuff. Who's your favorite quartet?
The Kingsmen.
Kingsmen.
Mm-hmm. And the Zion's Way, Gold City. I love them all. I go to a lot of gospel singings. I love every bit of it. I listen at it all the time at home, and I love my preaching and everything on TV every morning.
Well, have you ever seen, like, so you've been alive a lot longer than I have. Have you ever seen something get this far out of control as far as the cost of living going up so fast?
No, it's awful now. Poor people can't hardly live anymore. Everything's just outrageously high. Yeah,
a car cost $25,000. Literally 5 years ago is now $50,000.
It's all uncalled for too.
It's these corporate fat cats has been getting greedy, and they're trying to put everybody in the poorhouse.
That's right.
And the U.S. government's allowing this to happen, because it wasn't happening under Trump. I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying that he had, you know, I don't know. It just feels like that's what's going on. It feels like the government's allowing these companies just to basically rape us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really bad, and I don't know how people can afford to live. I struggle. I have a roommate, so that's how I do it. But as I ain't got a wife, one day maybe I can have a wife and I ain't got to do all that. But I don't know how somebody just does it on their own anymore. You do it on your own, but
Yes,
it's got to be super hard to do anything on your own.
it is. It's hard, but you make it with God's help. God's always been there for me and helped me through everything.
Well, I don't know. I think we're about to wrap the segment up unless you have anything else left on your heart to talk about.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, well, that's the end of the show. Thank you and God bless.
God bless you.